Hello everyone, good evening. Welcome back to PrepBee, and today we are going to solve CAT 2023 Slot 3 passage. So let's get started. Understanding romantic aesthetics is not a simple undertaking for reasons that are internal to the nature of the subject. Distinguished scholars such as Arthur Lovejoy, Northrop Fryer, and Isaiah Berlin have remarked on the notorious challenges facing any attempt to define romanticism. Lovejoy, for example, claimed that romanticism is the scandal of literary history and criticism. The main difficulty in studying the romantics, according to him, is lack of any single real entity or type of entity that the concept romanticism designates. Lovejoy concluded the word romantic has come to mean so many things that by itself it means nothing. All right. So understanding what makes romantic and beauty unique is difficult because the subject itself is very abstract, very complex. So famous thinkers are there. They have pointed out how hard it is to define romanticism. Lovejoy, being one of them, described romanticism as a very confusing and very controversial topic, right? In the study of literature and art. So Lovejoy believes that the hardest part about studying romanticism is that it does not have a single clear meaning. He argues that the romantic has been so broadly used that it means nothing now. It is just meaningless right now. All right. The more specific task of characterizing romantic aesthetics adds to these difficulties in an air of paradox. Conventionally, aesthetics refers to a theory concerning beauty and art or the branch of philosophy that studies these topics. However, many of the romantics rejected the identification of aesthetics with a circumscribed domain of human life that is separated from the practical and theoretical domains of life. So, what the author is trying to say here? He's trying to say that trying to define what romantic art and beauty looks like makes things even harder, and it seems like a paradox. Typically, aesthetics is a study of art and beauty within the philosophy. However, many romantic thinkers didn't see beauty and art as separate from everyday life or other types of thinking. Here, this line means that romantic thinkers didn't see beauty and art as separate from everyday life or other types of thinking. All right. The most characteristic romantic commitment is to the idea that the character of art and beauty and of our engagement with them should shape all aspects of human life. So these romantics believe that art and beauty are so important they should influence every part of our life. Being fundamental to human existence, beauty and art should be central ingredient not only in philosophical or artistic life, but also in the lives of ordinary men and women. So since beauty and art are so essential that they should matter not only to the artist or the philosophers, but to everyone. Another challenge for any attempt to characterize romantic aesthetics lies in the fact that most of the romantics were poets and artists whose views of art and beauty are, for the most part, to be found not in developed theoretical accounts, but in fragments, aphorisms, and poems, which are often more elusive and suggestive than conclusive. All right. So it's hard to define romantic aesthetics because most romantics they expressed their ideas in poetry and short sayings rather than clear theories, making it very difficult to pin down what exactly this romantic aesthetics are. All right. Now, nevertheless, in spite of these challenges, the task of characterizing romantic aesthetics is neither impossible nor undesirable, as numerous thinkers responding to Lovejoy's radical skepticism have noted. While warning against a reductive definition of romanticism, Berlin, for example, still heralded the need for general characterization. Although one does have a certain sympathy for Lovejoy's despair, he is, in this instance, mistaken. There was a romantic movement, and it is important to discover what it is. So they are just trying to say that despite all these challenges, it is very possible to define what romantic aesthetics are, and many thinkers they disagree with Lovejoy's skepticism. Berlin, all right, Berlin, though acknowledging that it is hard to define, he still believes that it is essential to understand romanticism as a real movement. All right. Recent attempts to characterize romanticism and to stress its contemporary relevance follow this path. Instead of overlooking the undeniable differences between the variety of romanticism of different nations that Lovejoy had stressed, Such studies attempt to characterize romanticism not in terms of single definitions, a specific time or specific place, but in terms of particular philosophical questions and concerns. So more recent studies they continue to define romanticism and show why it still matters today. The study focuses on understanding romanticism through its common philosophical questions rather than trying to give it one strict definition or limiting it to one country or one time. So we are understanding romanticism through philosophical questions that are very common instead of limiting it. All right. While the German, British, and French romantics are all considered the central protagonist in the following are the German romantics. Two reasons explain this focus. First, because it has paved the way for other romanticism. German romanticism has a pride of place among different national romanticisms. Second, the aesthetic outlook that was developed in Germany roughly between 1796 and 1801 to 2, the period that corresponds to the heyday of what is known as early romanticism, offers the most philosophical expression of romanticism since it's grounded primarily in the epistemological, metaphysical, ethical, and political concerns that German romantics discerned in the aftermath of Kant's philosophy. So, here they are trying to say that romanticism happened in different countries, but this text will focus mainly on the German romanticism. German romanticism is especially important because it influenced other romantic movements. And German romanticism, which happened between 1796 to 1801, was highly philosophical and it was influenced by Kant's idea about knowledge, reality, ethics, and politics, making it especially valuable for understanding romantic aesthetics. A slightly trickier passage, a bit difficult to understand, but if the passage is easy, you can expect the questions to be, sorry, if the passage is difficult, you can expect the questions to be slightly on a easier. According to the romantics, aesthetics is widely considered to be irrelevant. Irrelevant की बात ही नहीं हुई है. Permeates all aspects of human life, philosophical and mundane. They were talking that it is not just limited to literature and art, but it should contain all the aspects of human life. So second is your answer. Should be confined, बोल ही नहीं रहा, इसका opposite बोल रहा है. Is primarily concern of philosophical philosophers and artists rather than ordinary people, not at all mentioned. But it says that it should concern everyone, right? So completely different. Which one of the following statement is not supported by the passage? Recent studies on romanticism seek to refute the differences between national romanticisms. It is not true because here they say that they have a place among different national romanticism. German romanticism has a pride of place among different national romanticism. So seek to refute the differences. It is not supporting the passages because of this word. All right. So we have found the answer in first answer. Now, the main difficulty in studying romanticism is the absence of written accounts. No, we are not telling. It's just that we do not know how to define romanticism. Elusive and suggestive nature of romantic aesthetics. We don't know about the suggestive nature or anything elusive about it. Controversial. We don't know anything that is controversial. Lack of clear conceptual contours of the domain. Yes, we do not know exactly how to define what all aspects that it needs to cover. Now, according to the passage, recent studies on romanticism avoid a single definition, a specific time, or a specific place because they prefer to highlight the paradox of romantic aesthetics as a concept. Do they prefer to highlight the paradox here? No. It's just because, they want to focus on what are the core things of the romantic aesthetics, right? They seek to discredit. Nobody's trying to discredit Lovejoy here. So not the answer. Understand that the variety of romanticisms renders a general analysis is impossible. We are not talking about this. Prefer to focus on the fundamental concerns of the romantics. Exactly what are the exactly fundamental concerns of the romantics, we are doing it here. So this you could have done by POE, point of elimination. No discredit, not highlighting any paradox, not giving any general analysis, impossible. All right. Now let's do the choose the option that best captures the passage. Gradually, life for islands world is improving. Antarctic prions and white-headed petrels, which also nest in burrows, had managed to cling on in some sites while pests were on the island. Their numbers are now increasing. It's fantastic and so exciting shows as birds return to the breed, they also poop. This adds nutrients to the soil, which in turn helps the plants and the plants grow back stronger. Tall plants then help burrowing birds hide from predatory skuas. It's this wonderful feedback loop, Shaw says. Today, the pretty paddock that Hopton first experienced has been transformed. The tussock is over your head and you're dodging all these penguin tunnels, she says. These orchards and tiny herb that had been protected by fencing have started turning up all over the fence. All right. So let's see what is the answer. There is increasing number of predatory birds and plants. We are not talking about the increasing number of predatory. Very distorted. So first we'll eliminate. In the absence of pest, life on island is now protected, and there has been revival of variety of birds and plants. All right, we'll hold on to this because we are talking about the revival. Gradually, it has been improving. Uh, okay, so we'll hold on. There is a huge positive transformation of the ecosystem of the island when brought under environmental protection. There is huge positive transformation on the ecosystem of island when brought under environmental protection. But exactly how are we doing it? Is that completely avoiding? I mean, is that environment protection only? How sure you are? Very close option. We'll hold on to this as well. Flowering plants, herbs, and birds are now being protected on this wonderful Antarctic era, very meaningless one. Now there is very huge positive. We are just saying that, you know, there has been improvement. Huge positive. There is a transformation in the ecosystem. We are talking about the ecosystem, but we are talking about the only island birds. Okay, here there is island birds and brought under environmental protection, but the topic talks about, more or less the pest. In the absence of pest, life is now protected. It's not that because of the environmental protection, the birds have increased, but it is more about how in the absence of pest, their lives are improving. All right. So third is distortion of fact, and we will eliminate it. The weight of society's expectations is hardly a new phenomenon, but it has become particularly draining over recent decades, perhaps because expectations themselves are so multifarious and contradictory. The perfectionism of the 1950s was rooted in the norms of mass culture and captured in famous advertising images of the ideal white American family that now seem self-satirizing. In that era, perfectionism meant seamlessly conforming to values, behavior, and appearance, chiseled confidence for men, demure graciousness for women. The perfectionist was under pressure to look like everyone else, only more so. The perfectionist of today, by contrast, feel an obligation to stand out through their idiosyncratic style and wit if they are to gain a foothold in the attention economy. So now they are just trying how the weight of society's expectations has been so contradictory. Before it was just about conforming to the values, behavior, and appearances. Now there is an obligation to stand out. So those long standing, the pressure to appear perfect and thereby attract attention has evolved over time from one of conformism to one of non-conformism. Okay, here they were talking about seamlessly conforming to value, and now there is an obligation to stand out through idiosyncratic style. We'll hold on to this. The pressure to appear perfect has been the cause of tension and conflict, nowhere mentioned. So we'll eliminate this. The desire to attract attention is so deep rooted in individual consciousness that people are willing to go to any lengths. We are not talking about people willing to go any lengths The image of perfectionism is reflected in and perpetuated by media, nowhere mentioned. Hence, your first is your answer. So do let us know if you have any doubts. We'll be more than happy to help. And this is about your CAT 2023 slot 3 passage. And if you have any doubts, please drop it in the comment box. Thank you.